Brooke, if your team would let us know when we're live. Okay, thank you.
We're live.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the September 9th, 2024 meeting of the University City Council to order at 6:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Clay. Councilmember Teeman.
Present.
Councilmember McMahon.
Here.
Councilmember Hales.
Here.
Councilmember Smotherson.
Here.
Mayor Crowe.
Here. Before you, you have the agenda during the study session. No one had requested any changes. Are there any changes requested at this time? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Hales. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Teeman. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Before you have two proclamations, one for the condolences to the family of Benjamin Kelly, and then the second for the 50th year reunion of the University City class of 1974. So those have all been signed and moved forward. You have before you the June 17th, 2024 study session on the operating budget. Is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. McMahon. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Hales. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. You have before the August 12th, 2024 study session for the Architectural Review Board. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Mr. McMahon, seconded by Mr. Hales. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. You have before the August 12th regular minutes. Is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Smotherson. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McMahon. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We have no appointments to any boards or commission. We have no swearings in. And to the best of my knowledge, Madam Clerk, we don't have any requests to speak at this time.
That is correct.
Okay, we will move forward. Are there any council comments during this portion of the agenda? Seeing none, we have no public hearing. We have before you the consent agenda, items K1 through 7. Is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Hales. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Clay. Is there a discussion? Mr. McMahon.
I just wanted to make sure we're clear on K7. The agenda item noted two different numbers for the rent. I think it's supposed to be 4,000 and one note just mentioned 1,000, but we're only voting on the $4,000 number.
Hello, Mayor. Councilmember McMahon, that's correct. It's 4,000, a little over 4,000.
It just looks like there was a typo in the cover sheet.
Okay, the Scrivener's error is noted. Any other questions on any items under the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Rose.
Mayor Crowe and council members, this item asks that you receive an update on the Tiny Forest project. I have asked Planning and Development Director, Dr. Wagner, to provide this update. Dr. Wagner?
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Good evening, Mayor, council members. The Tiny Forest project has been talked about at the Green Practices Commission for a year and a half, 2 years now. Mary Kennedy is the staff liaison to the Green Practices Commission, and Mr. Teeman may know a little bit about it as well. But as far as approvals go, and I can go into what a tiny forest is and some of the benefits here in just a moment. It was the site that they're looking at is it's got a 7815 Olive Boulevard address, but it's actually right on Groby Road. It is a city-owned property. Of course, it has to be a city-owned property for this. The Stormwater Commission, and I think they referenced it earlier when they were talking, they recommended the Olive Boulevard site in June of 2024, and then the Parks Commission recommended approval of it in July of 2024. The site is close to the Brittany Woods Middle School, and it's a project I understand that's going to be run and taken care of by Ann Cummings, I believe. She's a sustainability teacher at Brittany Woods, along with somebody from Washington University. So they will be coordinating activities and use it as a learning tool, a good one at that, I think, for the students at Brittany Woods. So it is close to their school, so they'll be able to walk up to it. The only thing I think that is kind of outstanding anyway is some sort of maintenance agreement or an agreement as far as what the volunteers are going to do and what the city is responsible for, and probably less that the city is responsible for, I think is a little bit better off. As far as that goes, it's been approved recommended for approval by the Parks and the Stormwater Commission. I don't know that it needs city council approval. I'd be happy to take it back if Mr. Rose thinks it would need that.
Yes, I would
Okay.
like for the mayor and council to consider it. I think part of the discussion that we will have is ensuring if there is an economic development opportunity, what actually occurs to the tiny forest.
Sure.
So there are a few things I believe that we still
Okay.
need to resolve before it's brought forward to the council for consideration, but it seems like it's very close.
Okay. And they're not, this is September, so I don't know. I know Jacob Kaiser has spoken with these folks about what he needs to do to prepare the site for it. And I don't know what time of year that's done. So I don't know that it's necessarily done the fall. So it could be done in the spring. So I think there would be ample time for that and to look at what sort of, I spoke with Connie Mueller a couple hours ago, and she said the volunteers that they have in mind to work on it would be similar to how the Ruth Park volunteers work, not the same ones, of course. But she's looking for volunteers to be able to come out and manage some of the site as well. And I can go over some of what a tiny forest is and some of the benefits that it provides. If you'd like, I'd be happy to provide that.
How big is the site? I'm just trying to visualize.
0.91 acres.
Okay.
So it's not very big, thus the tiny forest.
Yes, that's a tiny forest.
But I would be happy to follow Mr. Rose's lead and bring it back before you at the appropriate
Okay.
time.
Mr. McMahon,
Is that zone commercial or
Residential,
it's single family residential? That's right. That's
correct.
everything.
I believe it is single family residential. Someone else in an email had noted that it was zone commercial, but I believe it's single family residential.
Has the city had anybody reaching out to it to, as it sits, for any economic development that we know
Not that
of?
I'm aware of, no.
And we haven't,
It's pretty tough site as far as being, I think part of it's actually in the floodway
right.
and not the floodplain. So it has some challenges.
And just for everybody, it's kind of a triangle shape right behind the old fire station.
Yeah.
anything else? Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Mayor and council members, this next item L2, asks that you consider a conditional use permit, CUP 24-03 for Royal Bank. Dr. Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. CUP 24-03 is for Royal Banks of Missouri. They are moving from their current location down across from Seafood City, I think 8020 or something. I can't recall the old address, but everybody knows where the building is down there. They got the trailers to house them while the other building is being demolished and sold, but they're going to sell the entire site. And they've chosen the corner of McKnight and Olive for their new location. It's where the gas station was for quite some time. It was closed down when I started working here. But it was raised and demolished a few months ago, and the site is clear now. So they have come in for a conditional use permit. The conditional use permit portion is for drive-through facilities. It is an approved use in the general commercial district. And it was a great plan. Mr. Brandon Harp is the civil engineer. Happy to answer any questions should you have any.
Any questions regarding the application for the CUP for Roy Banks? Mr. Smotherson.
Thank you, Mayor Crowe. just very quickly, and looking at the diagram, and I think it's a great site. I think it's a great choice. But what concerns me is the driveway, the in and out right there next to Cricksdale.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, has there been a traffic study or any study that says that this is not going to be a problem? And you have to understand why, and I'm sorry,
No, no.
you have to understand why, because again, you've got cars coming off of Olive on a regular basis. So not only are we going to be creating a left turn lane into the bank from southbound traffic, but you're also going to have cars that turn into Cricksdale
Sure.
from southbound traffic. So, but the other thing is that you got cars coming off of Cricksdale making right turns right there in front of the
Right.
driveway.
Uh,
So,
I know they closed off the one curb cut on Olive, and MoDOT was thrilled about that. And I think there was another one there on McKnight, and I think to have it any closer to the stop light there, I think would have been problematic for the county. Am I? Yeah, would
Yeah,
you like
that's
to hear
fine.
from Brandon on that?
yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Because the question while he's coming up, the question I have is, and I just want to present, why wasn't the entrance made on Cricksdale? Then that way, any cars coming off of Olive would turn into Cricksdale, then turn into the bank and not create the problem that I see on Olive.
Sure.
And
okay.
maybe you have an answer.
Oh, okay.
Before you speak, you just give your name and address, please.
Of course, Mayor, members of the council, my name is Brandon Harp, President of Civil Engineering Design Consultants, 10820 Sunset Office Drive, 63127. Yeah, so the existing condition is the gas station that was there at the corner that had a full access point onto Olive, open curb cut. Then also almost the entire length of the property on McKnight was open for circulation. Obviously, McKnight is under the jurisdiction of St. Louis County, and as you know, and Olive is under MoDOT. As Mr. Wagner said, we're closing the access point off on Olive. We're
Right.
continuing the streetscape down with the trees and the sidewalk, the lights, et cetera. St. Louis County has approved our location on McKnight. The reason why we're not off of Cricksdale is because there's about an 8-9 foot elevation difference there. That driveway drops off, that road drops off from a topography standpoint. You
Mhm.
can't get up into the site and build up there with the driveway at that location.
Okay.
This is a very small bank. It's 2,800 square feet. There's 14 parking spaces. There's 2 intelligent teller machines there where you basically you're looking at a screen of somebody and you can do your transaction there. So this is not a high traffic generator at all.
Okay.
It's a very benign as far as traffic goes, but you are correct. It's a tough site, but that is the best location furthest away from Olive.
Okay. And so St. Louis County is going to create left turn lanes. Is that going to be up to St. Louis County to create the lanes for turning into the bank on McKnight?
St. Louis County has not required any improvements to Ignite as far as our entrance. We're just putting in a standard commercial entrance, and they have
Okay.
not required any improvements to McKnight.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I do agree with Councilmember Smotherson in that I'm glad the volume's not, I hope for the bank, the volume is what everybody wants it to be for the flow, but I really don't want us to have another Starbucks at the corner of Delmar and North and South where we have the left-hand turn issue that is preponderant every morning. So just from personal experience. So glad the Starbucks is doing well, but that is a tough left-hand turn there. So any other questions regarding the CUP? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Smotherson. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Teeman. Is there a discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you
you.
very much. We'll now move forward to new business. We have bill number 9555. Who would like to introduce? Mr. McMahon. Madam Clerk, we have the first reading of bill number 9555.
Bill 9555, An ordinance amending section 130.580 of the municipal code of the city of University City, Missouri relating to non-uniformed employees' retirement system benefit adjustments by increasing monthly benefits to retirees and their beneficiaries other than children by 1%.
Thank you very much. Are there any reports from any members of council regarding the commissions? Hearing none, I don't believe we had anyone else sign up for citizen participation. It's kind of getting lonely out there, I think, as far as citizen participation. Any council comments this evening? Mr. Smotherson.
Thank you, Mayor Crowe. This is one thing that I did want to bring up, and this is to Mr. Rose. And I sent the email earlier today about the creek running through Heman Park. And if you walk down that lot, and what I wanted to ask, if you could consider, if anybody walks down there, you can see the water that is actually sitting there still. And with the mosquito problem that we're having, we've been in a drought. So the mosquitoes are having a field day with, meaning that they are, how long does it take a mosquito to be born and come out of the water? But they're having a field day right now. If you could ever consider to use the fire department to actually flush some of that still water, because I would actually say that is, it's, if you go down there, trust me, you'll see moving water, meaning they're there, and we have a real mosquito problem in University City, at least in my neighborhood. So if you could address that, please, and make that part of.
Mayor, and Mayor Pro Tem Smotherson just became aware of this today. It's one of the things that we can discuss during our staff meeting tomorrow. One of the other options is certainly including some sort of oil that prevents it being a kind of habitat for mosquitoes because they can't access the water. But we'll talk about a number of options and see what we believe is best.
Any other comments from members of council? Hearing none, I would welcome a motion to go into closed session according to Reserve Act Statute 16.021, legal actions, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives or attorneys and individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees. Is there such a motion? Motion made by Mr. Hales. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Clay. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Teeman,
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon,
Aye.
Councilmember Hales.
Aye.
Councilmember Smotherson,
Aye.
Councilmember Clay, Mayor Crowe.
Aye. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.